Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 170 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, aka the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. I saw a combination this past weekend that I've never seen used together. It was this lady eating. Now, let's discuss the lady first so I could paint the picture so you know what I'm dealing with in the combination she was scarfing down. She was about 5 foot. She was sitting down, so she was not standing up. I'm guessing under 5'5", 5'6" maximum standing up. She had brunette hair, a little bit past the shoulder, no split ends. I'm guessing mid-20s, not barely legal. But certainly not late 20s. She had her nails did. Of course, she had the big Nalgene thing of water because you got to have your water today. Got to stay hydrated. She was wearing not yoga pants, but stretchy athletic pants that were tight around her waist, above her belly button, and she did have a bit of a muffin top, I suspect, but they were looser down by the ankles, and they were tight around the thighs and the hips and the waistband. She had a top that was probably not a halter top, just a basic tight-fitting top, but not an egregious like hoochie going out Friday night tight top. It was a warm fall afternoon. The not even a sleeve, just past the shoulder. You know those tight shirts, but it's almost like athletic gear. But this babe was not clearly doing athletic work before I saw her, and she was a white babe, and I would classify her as a babe. Would the B-Man, would I boink her? Yes, I would. Would I brag about about doing so to my friend Cheese? Yes, I would. Would I steal her panties if the opportunity presented itself and sniff them later? I probably would, but it would not be one of my finest boinks. Not even top half, but she was, she had to think that she's 20. Let's say she's 25, just for the sake of syllables use. Okay, so number, early to mid 20s. That's the last syllable. So 25. Like she was not overweight, but not skinny either. But she had like her wrists, like she had her wrist, like the bones on her wrist were not defined, meaning there was a bit of extra meat around the wrist, and the forearms. They weren't slender, but they weren't extreme either. Like she has a fuckable body. For a 25-year-old, she's the type of person the type of babe you could be proud to boink this babe if the opportunity presented itself to you. But it is the type of babe you could tell, in 5 years, 10 years after she has children, she's gonna blow up like the blueberry girl in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. She eats the candy and she's purple or blue and she blows up. She may not blow up that big, but definitely she's gonna blow up to the point where her belly will be like surpass how far her boobs go out. But anyway, at 25, like she's still banging, right? You're still looking at her. Anyway, this really is not about her, but it's about what she was eating. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching her. I'm scrolling through my phone. What the B-Man was doing is I'm doom scrolling through my phone. It was a Saturday afternoon, so I'm checking. I'm being a bro. Being a sports bro, I'm checking out all the scores of all the college football games and looking at the stats of the college QBs that I won't remember a week later. But I'm telling myself, don't look at your screen. It's a beautiful fall afternoon, so I put my phone down. I look at the sky, the few clouds, the trees, the skyline. I'd appreciate it. But how How long can you appreciate the skyline before like, all right, let me go back to my phone? Because you can't doom scroll the sky. The sky is there. The tree is there. I appreciate the view. It's awe-inspiring. I tell myself, remember this. Remember this view, because in a couple of months, there won't be any more leaves on those trees. But then you go back to doom scrolling because you can't scroll a tree. But the technology of your phone, you can keep doom scrolling. But I kept like that internal struggle. Wait, enjoy nature, enjoy the weather, enjoy the scenery, and then the cocaine in your pocket, that is your phone. So I was struggling. I was struggling between the two, doom scroll and then the sky. But then there was also this lady on the other side, a few tables away from me, who I just described, and we won't describe her any further because this isn't really about her, although it's all about her. It's what she was eating and what she was dipping her snack into. So she was eating Doritos. I think they were not original Doritos, but a different flavored, maybe spicy jalapeno. I spent a long time since the B-Man has had a Dorito. So let's just say it was a Dorito. It was some type of Dorito. It was definitely a triangle. It's fine. Like Doritos do kind of resemble the shape of pubic hair, the triangle. So of all the snacks, the Dorito is the vagina of snacks. That just came into my head right now. 41 years, I just put that together. Good for the B-Man. But anyway, she's eating the Doritos, but she's not just eating the Dorito like from a little snack bag to her mouth. She'll take the Dorito out and she dips it in cream cheese. Well, I've never seen that done before. And that it didn't make me gag because I like the two. Like I like Doritos, although I hardly ever have them, and I do enjoy cream cheese. And this was not. Wasn't a bucket of cream cheese. It was just those little packets you can get at a I was at a bagel place, so they had like those little containers of Philadelphia cream cheese, and I checked like to see if it was diet or like non-fat Philadelphia cream cheese as I went to go throw out like my little wrapper from my bagel. And it was original, just regular fattening Philadelphia cream cheese and the Dorito. And she kept doing that. And I said, and I'm there, I'm like, oh, that's so Americana right there. That's everything that's wrong with this country. This lady, she's a babe. She's definitely a babe. All of you would love to boink this lady. You'd love to hawk your dick loogie inside of her. But she's teetering on being young and attractive, and like the wall is far off. But her body is like, although it's tight and it's together. Oh, like as I described with the wrist, it wasn't like this wasn't like you're popping a stiffy just at looking at this babe. It was more of a I would, and then you keep it moving, and then there's she's gotta work to keep her body in order, fuckable, and eating Doritos with cream cheese, like that ain't gonna help. That ain't gonna help her remain boinkable. But again, this is not about her. This is about that's a combination I've never seen. And I'm judgmental of her for having this combination. Now, I'm not here to say that you should not eat, or you should not dip Doritos in cream cheese. I'm just here to tell you, you should not dip Doritos in cream cheese in public. Like, that's a combination you gotta keep in private. Right? Keep that at home, and not even just at home. Like, keep that in your bedroom. Because if you have roommates or you live with your parents, or you have siblings, like they should judge you if you're eating that combination in the living room, watching Netflix, getting crumbs everywhere of cream cheese in your Dorito. Like that's a snack you do in the privacy of your bedroom when nobody's there, and make sure there's no cameras on you so anyone else can see it, because that's an embarrassing combination. That is an embarrassing combination that when the B-man sees you in public doing that, like I remember it. Like, I take note of that, and that's something I talk about on Verbal Graffiti, because that is, it's not a disgusting combination in the sense that in regards to taste, because it's cheese on top of cheese. And the B-man loves cheese. Actually, now that I think about it, like Doritos is fake cheese. Cream cheese is processed manufactured cheese. So it's a cheese sandwich is really what a Dorito and cream cheese is. But just as far as a empty calorie dense combination, that's where you go wrong with the combination of a Dorito and cream cheese. And that's why that's too many empty calories going in to your mouth in public, where other patrons can see you doing that. That is, like when I was younger, I used to like to dip potato chips in orange juice, and I had a teacher who told me that's disgusting. I don't do that, and I stopped doing it. And she was absolutely right. I believe it was my fifth grade teacher, Miss Quebec, told me that's disgusting. You should not do that. Or maybe it was my third grade teacher, Miss Gerace. But regardless, she was absolutely correct. Dipping potato chips in orange juice, it's way too acidic. That is something you should not be doing. And she was right to chastise me. Now, I don't have the gall, to go up to this babe in public and tell her, hey, that's too many empty calories for you to be munching down. You should not do that. No, I'm a little pussy. I go in front of a camera and tell the entire internet about it. But if you're doing that, that's the first time I've ever seen that. It kind of gave me I did the squint, like what am I seeing here? And then when I put the two together, it's like, oh, that's something. That is something, and it's that's Americana right there. There's empty calories on empty calories, two types of cheese, and neither of them are natural. That is the ultimate American snack right there. And if you've seen America, we have an obesity problem. And to be man, my waist is starting. I do have a bit of a muffin top, so I'm trying to work on that. I ran 4 miles earlier before filming this episode, but that's quite a dipping. That's quite a dip right there. All right, upward and onward. We're moving on to speaking of bodies and self-esteem. This comes from the subreddit NBE. Do not know what that acronym stands for. Running out of time, aren't we all? So I'm freshly 18. Let's take a moment to appreciate what this lady just said. So I'm freshly 18. Wow. Okay. And have just started to realize that my time going through puberty is coming to an end. I wanted to know what method for breast growth would be best for someone my age. I'm around 115 pounds and a 30B. I have a pretty nice breast shape, but I'm painfully unhappy with the size. Would supplements, pumping, chest exercises, or BC, birth control, be best? A double question mark. Please help! Exclamation mark. We're here for you. We are here. All of us here at Verbal Graffiti. We are here to help you get bigger breasts, get bigger boobies, bigger jigglers, because right now, a 30B is a lovely bust size, but it's not really jiggly. We'll get to that. and how to enhance your boobs and get them to a more womanly state, womanly aged breasts. I feel for you. I feel it for you. Again, freshly 18, a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stage of life for a babe. We're glad that you're 18 and barely legal, so we could talk about your chest. It is a precarious position to be in, and the reason why I say I feel for you, because I was in a similar state when I was going through puberty. Obviously not with my breasts, although when I was a teenager, there was a couple years when I was in high school, I had a little, I'm not a lump, but like a hard, like my nipple was hard. Like underneath my nipple, there was just like the hard, it almost felt like I had a stone underneath my left nipple, and I had convinced myself I had breast cancer. My mom convinced me that I did not, even though I still in my head think I did. But I'm here with you. And not with my boobs, but my penis, Mr. Perfect. And I assume many guys going through their puberty, and women like yourself, worried about your bust size, and is it going to get bigger? And with us Johns with our penises, are they going to get bigger? I distinctly remember being in middle school, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. Like every year throughout high school, a few times a year, I would take a remote control and put it right beside my penis, Mr. Perfect, and see what number the tip of my penis reaches, and I would make a note of it, and then maybe 6 months later to a year later, I would measure it again. Usually this was when I was watching the Howard Stern show on Channel E, and he would have like strippers and like Hooters waitresses who would come on, and porn stars, and they'd get naked and they do some role play, and that would make that get the B-man all horned up, so my dick would be erect, and I'd take the remote and kind of, but I was like you. Every time I measured it, I would hope, pray, just it was anxiety filled. Like you get an erection as a teenager going through puberty, and then you put the remote control next to your penis and just hoping that the tip of your mushroom goes a little bit further than it did the previous time you measured it with the remote control. I never had the balls, pun intended, to measure my dick with a ruler. I did at one point. I don't really want to give out what my measurement was, but I used a remote control because I knew I didn't have a huge one. And when you don't have a huge wiener, penis, you don't want to use a ruler because the numbers don't lie. The ruler does not lie when you're measuring your wiener. Now, I would take like the remote, and it's almost like, okay, so I have a phone right now, and if you think I've measured my penis with my phone, you know me. You know I have. But I would put the remote control at the base of my wiener, but I would press down to try to get like an extra half inch. Like, I don't know why I was doing that. It's not like there was like babes in my room watching me like, oh, okay, well, okay, you got an extra half inch. Good for like, no, I was trying to lie to myself. And even today, I still measure my penis with my fists. Like I do the thing, or I'm about like 2 fists. I'm a little bit over 2 fists. But again, by my bottom fist, like I really had to like press into the base of my pubic area so that I get to 2 fists. Because sometimes I'm almost at the opposite point of puberty now, where like when I was younger, I kept hoping it'd get longer, but now I'm like afraid it's going to get shorter, because I used to be 6 feet tall, like even, but now I slouch a little bit. So now I'm 5'11". So I'm worried about that happening with my penis. So I'm every once in a while, like I'll do the fist test measurement. But in high school and puberty, I was doing a remote control, and there was always that, like, yeah, you take a shower, you're in a locker room, anytime you're naked, like you're just kind of putting a bathing suit on, you're just kind of like you're stretching, you're pulling, you're tugging, and not even for, for the wank sesh. You're just there hoping it gets a little longer or a little girthier. Same thing with your chest, I imagine. You're doing the same thing. You're you're getting out of the shower. I don't know, like you're in the mirror putting your clothes on, and you're just all different angles. You're pulling. You're like, is this? Do you think this is a little bigger than it was last month? But that's a very an anxiety-inducing period of your life, puberty, especially. It's not the puberty, but like the end of puberty. Because like you said, you're 18, so chances are your 30 B cups, like that's what they're gonna be the rest of your life. But you still have hope. Like I dated when I was a senior in college. I was a faithful boyfriend. I was dating this babe. She was also a senior in college, and she had similar to yourself. I don't know her exact cup size, but she was like a B cup, like a solid full B cup. And I had asked her, like, when did you get those? When did you get those B cups? Was it gradual, or did they all come at once? And her answer was sophomore year of college. Sophomore year of college, she got out of the shower, she put her towel on, and she noticed like they were there. So you just kind of one morning, they just arrived. Like she was kind of flat chest, and then she had a full B cup. So you still have hope. Like she was a senior in college. So what, like 21, 22 years old? So you still got time left to naturally grow your boobs. But that hope is dwindling. That window, those C cups, those D cups that you see all your girlfriends that have boyfriends and they get more attention than you do, the odds of you becoming them is decreasing each day you don't get them. And I say that through experience too, because I had now that so like all the babes I knew my senior year of high school, like their boob size for the most part stayed the same for the rest of their life. Like very few of them would come back freshman, sophomore year of college, back for the summer and go from being flat to B's or B's to D's. It's kind of where you're at senior year of high school. It's kind of where you're going to be at probably going forward in your life, unless you take extensive measures, which we'll get to. Now, what the measurements, I'd advise, do not get the pumps. Do not get I didn't know this was a thing. Apparently it is. The breast pumps to pump your boobies bigger. Don't do that, because you don't want to be in your dorm room like freshman year and then have all the other babes on your floor see these pumps and mistake them for milk pumps, like breastfeeding pumps. And then there might be a rumor that gets put out there on the dorm floor that you have a newborn child that you're hiding in your dorm room. You don't want that. So even if the pump does work, it might not be worth the hassle and the rumors and the shit that gets talked behind your back with using those pumps. So don't use the pumps. Birth control is an option. Now, I have a friend, Cheese, who was an aficionado when it came to babes using birth control. Again, we were seniors in high school, grew up with Cheese, and like he would notice when somebody got on birth control, like the first semester of college. Like we'd be seniors in high school, and then we'd all go off to college, and we'd come back, and then there would be babes, like the night before Thanksgiving, which is a big going out night where I'm from, like for college students. And then they winter break parties where there were babes who like increased their bust size, and that was mostly due to taking birth control. Because if you do take birth control, your boobies will get bigger because of some type of inflation. I don't know how it works, inflammation. But my friend Cheese was like he had a sensor. Like he knew, like, oh, she's on birth control. She's on birth control. Because we had a lot of friends. We weren't like friendly with them, but we knew who they were. These babes that we graduated with, high school that is. And then they go on birth control so they could be sluts in college, right? So they could just sleep with whomever and not worry about getting pregnant. And then they'd come back during winter break or Thanksgiving, and Matt could point them all out. Oh, she's on birth control. She's on birth control. He just knew. He had a sensor. Like I have a sense for when babes have clean butt cracks. Like Cheese he had that sensor to him with birth control. So that is an avenue you can go. That is an avenue I would approve of. Now, I don't think babes should be on birth control because it fucks up with your hormones and it messes up with what you like and what you think you like. And it just, like, you're going through puberty and then you're going to put yourself on a hormonal birth control and fuck up your estrogen and your thoughts even more. Like, But if you want bigger boobs, hey, go get them. Go get them. Now, I think the obvious advice from the B-Man and all of us at Verbal Graffiti is get breast augmentation to double Ds. That is the answer. The fact of the matter is this. Now, I've been with plenty of babes throughout my time. Not plenty, but some of all different types. I've been with the plumpiest of plumps. And I've been with the skinniest of skinniest who like looked like they just got out of a concentration camp. And of all the time, you have a perfect body. You have a perfect body. You're 115 pounds and you have perky B cups. Every babe watching this right now, listening to your post, would they give up their unborn child for your body? Hell, even if they have children, they would execute their children for your body. Like, you have the perfect body. 18, freshly, barely legal, 18, 115 pounds, perky B cups. You have, literally have the best body in the world, but that does not matter because you don't believe you have the best body. The B-Man can tell you you do. All the guys who hawk dick loogies on those B cups of yours will tell you you have a great body and a great chest. But you, in your heart of heart, underneath your B cups, don't believe that. And that non-feeling or that whatever's in your mind telling you your boobs aren't big enough, like that ain't going away. And I hate to break it to you, honey, but your boobs are only going to get worse. Like, you're freshly 18, like your boobs, they might get a little bigger, but then they're going to start to sag. And then when you're 27, you're going to be looking in the mirror and go, are they not as perky as they used to be? So you're always going to be judgmental of your boobs. So you might as well just, instead of getting a student loan, use the money, instead of using it for college, use it to get breast augmentation. And again, don't go cheap. Spend $10,000 to $15,000 and find a plastic surgeon from New York City, LA, Miami, Dallas, or Las Vegas. And yeah, so spend your student loan money on breast augmentation, get those double Ds so that you can look yourself in the mirror and be happy with what you see. So we're glad you're going to get them. And, we're happy here at Verbal Graffiti that you're taking action to enhance your boobs. And many babes out there should be doing what you're doing. Let's go look at some photos. Episode 170, segment 2, Charlie Kirk, still dead. That is how death works. You die, and you stay dead forever. Everlasting. There's a finality to it, an eeriness, because we don't know if there's anything beyond the death other than getting buried or cremated and all that jazz, which we've talked about in previous episodes. But Charlie Kirk, he is a perfect case study to determine if you're a normie, an NPC, or if you're a conspiracy-minded person like myself. Now, when I say normie, NPC, I don't mean that as an insult. Let me just get out of the way. Like, many people in society, and especially on the internet, use that term normie as an insult. Like, oh, you're a normie. Like, what's so bad about being a normie? Having a normal job, getting paycheck every other Friday, drinking your Starbucks, having a family, having a couple drinks on the weekend, enjoying sports, going on vacation a couple times a year, once to the lake house, once to Myrtle Beach. That seems like a pretty fun life. A pretty fun life. That should not be slander. Like, normie, I'm jealous of you normies. But let's get to the case study. All right. You are a normie, an NPC. If all the information surrounding the assassination of Charlie Kirk you accept at face value. So, the New York Times, CNN, the government, the federal government, that never lies to any of us. They come out and tell us it's this guy on the roof. There was a bit of a love, like he just something about transgenders. Anyway, it was a guy on the roof. He killed him with with the rifle, disassembled the rifle, jumped off the roof, reassembled the rifle, left it in the woods, got away without getting caught. And then like hours later, he, in a long message to his lover, he basically confessed the crime to his lover, and then his father found out and just turned him into the feds. So if you believe that story at face value, you're a normie. If you don't question that at all, that narrative, you are a normal person. You accept the story, and then you move on with your life. All right, you go into making money, loving your family, enjoying what activities you do on the side. That is the mind of a normie. You take it at face value. Now, the conspiracy theorist will start picking out everything in the story that we're being told by the federal government and the news, and we'll start questioning the narrative. That is the mind of a conspiracy theorist. You start finding out, you're like, oh, okay. Oh, this is weird. The shooter, the assassin, the alleged assassin, he didn't go to college at the university. He lived like 4 miles away. So if he lived 4 miles away, how did he know the exact spot to be on the roof? And how did he know where the stage was going to be? And like I just said, there was a screwdriver needed to disassemble the rifle. Again, B-Man, I don't really know anything about firearms, but he disassembled it, got off the roof, and then he reassembled it to run away. And then he put it in the woods. And then the bullet doesn't match. The bullets on the roof don't match the one in the neck of Charlie Kirk. And then he had a perfect getaway, but then he gave all the information via text letter to his lover. And it's just a lot of things. And then less than a week after the murder, they pave over the entire crime scene. They literally repaved it, removed all the information. And you start there's just a lot of. And what about the guy who yelled out, I did it. And then he was there in 9/11, and he was there at the Boston Marathon bombing, and he was at all these weird events. It's that's weird. That's very strange. That's very strange. So there's just a lot of oddities to the official narrative. If those oddities make you think and question the narrative, that is how the mind of a conspiracy-minded person thinks. And I am on the latter side. I question the narrative, and my research is scrolling through X and Instagram and Reddit and reading what other people, the fingers they're pointing, and the fallacies of the official narrative. I'm parroting what they say. Again, I'm not going to do any real search on my own. Who the fuck does that? Let the people on the internet do that and then take it at face value. But also, the one thing about Charlie Kirk, and I didn't know much about him, other than he was a Republican, right-leaning person. I didn't follow him on social media, any of the platforms. He has a hot wife who is now a widow. I did not know his wife was hot, a babe. I'm usually not into the blonde babes. I can acknowledge a hot blonde babe, but it's not what the B-man fancies. It's not what I goon to. But I see his wife, and after having two small children, like, whoa. Charlie, what's his name? Can't remember his name because I'm thinking about his wife and how hot and blonde, bodacious she is. Charlie Kirk's wife, now widow. She's a babe. And the B-man, I want to reach out to her. It's been a couple weeks. I think that's given her enough time to grieve, and now she needs a good dicking down to get over Charlie Kirk, and who better than the B-man? And there's always that question. Hey, when a husband dies, like how can you hit on the widow at the funeral? That's probably, that's not polite of you, right? Maybe like a week later you slide into a DM or you meet her at the gas station. But hey, like I will become a Republican. I will become a just boring Republican if that's the type of babe you end up with. Charlie Kirk's wife? Yeah, I'll vote red for that. So Charlie Kirk's wife is on. She's now a widow, and now I'm going to be very curious. And I got to look up her name. Like, who is she going to end up with? Because she's still young. She's still fertile. She's not some old bag. She's not some old hag, 67, her skin's melting off. No, she's 31, and she's got millions and millions of dollars, and I'm interested. Like, I know it's probably not going to be the B-man, but whoever it is, like, I'm interested to find, like, I will be just kind of every few months. Like, when I was in high school, I'd measure my penis, Mr. Perfect, with my remote control to see what number it goes up to. Every few months, the B-man will be looking up Charlie Kirk's ex-wife, widow, to see who she's possibly dating, because that is a storyline that possibly the major storyline coming out of her husband's assassination is who's going to be the first one to get the dick down Charlie Kirk's wife, now widow. Very curious, very, I'm anticipating. That's what I'm anticipating. What I'm looking forward to. It's like a new movie being released. Because that's going to come out. Like, Charlie Kirk's widow is now aligned with the B-man. We'll see. We will see. And I will see, and I will report back to all of you. And again, I'm not doing the reporting. I'm just going to report the reports that I read via social media, mostly X. Okay, moving forward. This one's a little silly, but I dig it. Comes from the subreddit, Sour Candy. Sour Skittles with the dust. Does anyone know where to get the Sour Skittles with the dust? ? All the Sour Skittles I buy now don't have the dust. I live in the UK. Well, buddy, you're clearly an addict, right? You are clearly an addict. You're addicted to Sour Skittles. Anybody who refers to the dust that's on the Skittles as the dust, that means you're an addict. And we're here to help you out. Like here in the United States, you can't find a bag of the Sour Skittles without the dust. Like it gets all over your fingers, similar to the previous segment. The Doritos, like the Dorito dust, same thing with the Sour Skittle dust. It gets on you. Now, I'm not a Sour Skittle guy. I have a very plain palate. I'm very white. My tongue, it cannot handle the dust that the Sour Skittles give me. I get to... I'm not strong enough. My tongue is not strong enough to handle the dust on the Sour Skittles. Clearly you are, because you're an addict, but we're here to help, right? Venmo the B-man. $50 and I'll ship you the biggest bag I can find of the dustiest sour Skittles you've ever had. Because we here in the United States, we're in a first world nation. All our sour Skittles are covered with the dust. That is what separates the first world from the third world you live in. So either you gotta Venmo me $50 and or you gotta get a passport and come across the pond. Get these Skittles yourself. Do you have a passport? How bad do you want the dust? Go get it. Go find Delta, American Airlines, and come here to the U.S. and get your own Skittles and an entire like an entire suitcase full of them. It reminds me of my brother-in-law. He's from Australia. Every time he goes to Australia, they have different candy there than they have here in America. So he fills his suitcase when he comes back with all these Australian chocolates and goodies that you'd only get in that country. So I'm just imagining you right now. I imagine being a tourist that's a basic bitch normie. Visiting UK, I'm at Big Ben, the London Bridge, and you just come out from a shadow going, hey man, yo, you got those sour Skittles with the dust, and you got a 5 o'clock shadow, and you're disheveled, and you just got like threadbare clothing, and I have no sympathy for you. I'm just gonna put get the fuck away from me. I don't want nothing to do with your locals. I'm a normie. I'm doing some sightseeing. I'm going to Buckingham Palace, wherever. So I'm just imagining you just fiending out. You got the shakes. You got it bad. And I'm here to help. I'm not going to help you get past your addiction. I am not good. I would not be good as your sponsor. Your sour Skittle dust sponsor. I have a friend, Ben Ortiz, who is a sex addict. I'm always telling him, because he goes to Sex Addicts Anonymous, so they give him a chip for like every year that he goes without having a street hooker. I tell him, throw that chip away. Throw that chip away. Get yourself a street hooker. What's better? A little chip, a poker chip that you have to keep in your pocket, or some strange on the corner? Go get that strange. I tell him this all the time to his face. Every time I know plenty of people who go to AA or have gone to AA or recovering alcoholics. And every time we're out at a bar, because it's where we do stand up, I'm like, you sure? Like, you sure you don't want to relapse? Like, I will offer a recovering alcoholic a drink every time. I won't like put it in front of them, but I'll second a second wave. Like, you sure you don't? And okay, like, I am not a good sponsor. You don't want the B-Man as your dust sponsor, but if you want the dust, I am here for you. I am here for you. I will send you all the dusty. Now that I think about it, what about your Sour Patch Kids there in the UK? Do UK Sour Patch Kids not have any of the dust on it either? Do they look just like normal gummy bears without any dust? Like, what are you doing over there in that third world country? The more I talk it out, like, you gotta move to America. Like, I'm sure you have a job and family and friends and maybe university. But you gotta leave that third world behind and get a visa, move here to America, first world country, so that you can have all the sour Skittles with the dust on them you can get your hands on. And that's all I can tell you. You gotta move to the United States because we're a real country. We have sour Skittles with the dust. Go suck a fat one.